Sweet Gab says don't even run snags. Full of Magus is Magi. You don't even think we need. It's not a great way to look at things sometimes. I'm just saying some of the things that we're cutting most are the snags. XSV says snag strictly worse than bolt. Not sure why we changed it. It's not strictly worse. We've used it for protection too. That's actually why we switched over to the snag, because it wasn't so much that we were having trouble killing our opponent's creatures, small creatures. The problem was we were having trouble protecting our own. But bolt does not hit mostly the Eldrazi. The Vapor Snag was a tempo play, but I agree Harbinger of Tides does a better job. Why don't we maybe do this? What if we got the 4th Harbinger of Tides, added the 1st image, and trim this, and maybe even just run double sower main. The format is so just... what's the word I'm looking for? Homogenized? I'm trying to look for the right word. The format is so very... We're doing repetitions against the same deck over and over again. The only one drop wizard to consider is Grim Lava. I'd love to get a Lava Man in here, but maybe we should just stick to the 2 drops. What if we turn this into the 4th Harbinger, because it really has been that awesome, and we run the 1st image? Saturated? Thank you, that's a good word. Saturated. Thank you. That is a good word. Run Sidisi's Faithful. Oh, hang on. Overmaster. This was the wizard we were talking about. Yep. So this was the one we were talking about, not just because it's an early blocker, but because it lets our... Where is he? It lets the sideboard Profaner be a lot more impactful. This one. We were talking about that one. Yeah. We were talking about the Faithful. I remember talking about Faithfuls. It's a good blocker against burn, but more importantly, it turns on the Profaner out of the board. In fact, if we were running some number of Faithful, we could even main deck the Profaner potentially. If we ran like even just like 2 Faithfuls, what would that look like? Maybe 2 or 3 Faithful? Probably no more than 2. But 2 or 3 Faithful would make the Profaner much stronger. It is a wizard. The Faithfuls? The Faithful makes, if we really want to run the Profaner as a bounce, it does make it more powerful. And we get to keep the Profaner instead of sacrificing Profaner, which was another thing I didn't like about it, is whenever we were profaning, we were just giving up the Profaner, whereas I'd like to give up something else on the table, but nothing else had a big enough body. Faithful will be better than Snag. I like Profaner in the board. It's also just meat to sacrifice to Prodigy, which is something else we're having trouble with. Some of the only things we're sacrificing to Prodigy that we're happy sacrificing is Adept. This gives us more meat and fodder for Prodigies. I think we need to explore this card. Maybe even before buying the Sower. I got some ideas. Let's cut some of the cute stuff. Let's try 2 of Faithful. Let's make our burn match better post-board again, with Sun Droplets. I just have a feeling we're going to find burn tonight. Let's not give up our percentages. We were running 2 droplets for a long time for a reason. It makes the matchup much easier. Loosegate says run Curse Catcher. It's much better in Legacy. Modern's all about creatures right now. It's not about spells. That's why we actually run more Prodigy than the Sage Glenlock. The reason? The Gridlock? Sorry, the Glenlock? Sorry. Bridge plus Aether Grid is what I like to call Gridlock. Glenlock is actually what I'm going to start calling the Sage Glen Spell Lock. I think it's kind of a cool name. Glenlock? Gridlock? Grenlock? Glenlock? Ugh, it's hard to say. Let's grab some Faithfuls. We've been meaning to test it and we never did. I think it's a lot better than even I realize. Call it the Whizlock? The Whizlock! Faithful. I don't think we would ever run a playset, but maybe 3. Let's see if they're cheap, though. They're cheap. Just a 2 of. Just a 2 of. I like it a lot already. I like it a lot better already. The Warlock. This is baked. The Warlock. I mean, my favorite wizard, though, still... It's a close tie between Sower and Venser in the list. This gives us a lot more flexibility against token strats that we've been having a little trouble with, right, Overmaster? The Profaner being main. What is it, Lotus? Goblin Test Pilot? Alright. This is a new version. We've changed too much to call it Dumbledore's Army 1.8. This is now officially version 1.9. Let's do this. And hopefully by the end of the night we'll be ready to call it a 2.0 deck. So we went from Prototype, which was 1.0. We've gone from Prototype to 2.0. Now once a deck, in my stream anyway, once one of our brews has become a 2.0, that's when I start saying, okay, this is really where the deck wants to be. This is where we, this is where I feel like it, let's see. The deck just starts to feel at home, you know? It starts to feel like it's ready. Go for Skill Borrower? No. I'm sorry. Stealing is better than bouncing, yes. Stealing is better than bouncing, yes. That's why we were talking about buying a second Sower. Let's see if we can get away with just one for a little bit longer. But I'm down for buying a second one if we're like, after tonight, we're just like, yes, we need the second one. I mean, the deck's registered. I can't change that. The deck has been registered. Let's do this. This is a keep. We're also on the draw.